Assassin's Creed was one of the biggest hits of the 2007 holiday season. We sold more than 8 million copies of the first game. And now we're just coming out with the second one. Assassin's Creed 2 is taking place in Italy this time around. Desmond is going through the life of somebody else. It's called Ezio Auditore da Firenze. And this ancestor is now an Italian nobleman at the beginning of the game, and he'll become a master assassin throughout his adventure of Assassin's Creed 2.
We got together in Paris, brainstormed a bunch of different ideas, and finally decided that we thought it would be most interesting to focus on the events leading up to the beginning of our game, to give a sense of, what family life in the auditory household was like, and then also hint at the beginnings of the conspiracy that our hero is going to discover once the game kicks off.
If you want to understand exactly some scenes in the game about, between the characters, you have to look for the movie. You have to watch it, and then you'll understand why the mother says one thing, why the father reacts that way, for example. So it gives more, and it's more content.
Let's talk about the corporate side of the original challenge that was proposed by Ubisoft to start on a project. Very quickly, Assassin came as a very good project to start with. The game was already started. They were working on it very hard, and the idea came to do a series of episodes as a short movie, able to be connected between each other, where background might be used directly from the game as an import to start. And after that, we came with the proposition to use live actor to humanize mainly the film, and to do what we're built for, mainly what we're used to, is putting live actor on top of a CGI background.
Since our story does focus a great deal, at least initially, on the concept of vengeance, became apparent to us very early on, is that for this to work, the player, much like Ezio, has to grow attached to his family. And I think that's when, the idea of doing something like the films became very appealing to us, because it provided us with another way to further expand Ezio's backstory, in a different medium, in a way where we didn't have to concern ourselves as much with gameplay. We could focus entirely on character and story and universe building.
I hope that the product will have some impact on the gamer when he will start and he had the chance to see the 3 episodes. And I know that through the experience to making this movie also, we will be able to give our input to the game people that are generating and telling and inventing their story. You need to realize that a gamer is having his feeling by the way that he's playing. He generates his own excitement. A film, you're kind of passive, you're there, and the film is there to generate the emotion.
What was cool to have a movie being done while we were doing the game is that we could use some of the casting they did and put it in our game. So, for example, the father is basically the same guy. We just use his face and everything, and we had a recording session with him, but he's the same guy as you see in the movie. And that's pretty cool. That helped us out a lot, because sometimes it's tough to create a character from scratch, and actors, that's what they do, they create characters.
And as far as being part of a game, being in the game is very thrilling, very exciting. I feel like I'm on the part of something that's on the cutting edge. Technology is always evolving, and looking at Houston back there, we know that we're backed up with something that's going to be supporting all that. You look at the costume, which is actual.
The detail.
You can feel it.
Être acteur réel à travers un jeu, waouh, c'est comme dire, bon, ben alors parfait, lui maintenant je sais que c'est lui le salaud, lui c'est le gars qu'il faut éviter, ça ce sont les embûches.
If a writer, whoever, my 12-year-old, my 19-year-old, or you start to write a story and you ask me, okay, put life into it, that's our job. It's our purpose.
And we have to give it life. How do we give it life? Well, you got to find the truth of the character. Where does it begin? Well, in this case, it begins with the game. That's the script.
I don't think of it as like preparing for a role for a video game. I think of it just preparing for a role in general, because it's filming and it's just like any other project, except it's going to be changed into the video game.
Whatever it may be, if it's a story and we need to reenact it, it's the same principle.
Je pense que quand l'humain propose une émotion, qu'il y a quelque chose qui brille dans son œil, où il y a un pli qui se fait au moment d'une réflexion, ou le mouvement du visage, la pureté de l'être humain pour exprimer une émotion, je pense que ça va apporter quelque chose de richissime au jeu.
By seeing these three preludes, if you wish, these three stories that are going to impregnate the players with emotion, with attachment, with a relationship to the characters.
You hit something that really resonates, and that's emotional attachment. That goes back to storytelling. Yeah. You know, if you know, gamers playing the game, maybe non-gamers that will see this might be interested in the game.
The video game aspect is not making a big difference, except for the fact that we need to sort of respect certain things that they're establishing in their world. We need to sort of keep that going. But that's about it. The rest is really about trying to tell a story the same way we would in a traditional environment. What is very different is the way we're going to produce that story. Now we were starting with some of the environments that were developed for the game, so totally virtual. And the questions were, is it going to hold in the movie world? 5 to 10% to produce of real things to produce for each scene. The rest was all going to be virtual. So what are you going to do? What do you need to provide to the director or to the actors and to the NASA team so that they will have enough information that they can work? A street, for example. What do you put in the street? You know, a room, a big room with big windows. What do you build? There's a fireplace there. Where, you know, so you have to find a way to determine what's going to be essential for the actors, for the technicians, for the director, and for the post teams. Two teams working on, you know, different things. And that was part of the exercise for the departments, you know, for the production designer, for the costume designer. They had to work differently than, you know, what we normally do.